They say the state fair is the great Minnesota get-together. Well, I think our local county fairs are a great get-together too. I love to attend the Stevens County Fair and usually help with some booths and divisions. This past year, I helped in the horticulture section of the Homemakers building. Some lots only had a few entries, but when it came to hydrangea flowers, there were a bunch. To find out more about all the different kinds, I called Debbie Lonnie, who said, "Come for a visit." So thanks for letting us come.
I'm very happy you're here today.
Debbie, tell us about yourself and your background.
Well, I have a degree in horticulture and I've been in the business a long time. I started in retail, but I came to Bailey Nurseries almost 30 years ago. And most recently, I've become product development manager, where I am responsible for genetics for Bailey brands like Endless Summer hydrangeas, First Editions plants, and Easy Elegance roses.
How did you get involved with hydrangeas?
Well, I think it really started about 20 years ago is when we launched the original Endless Summer hydrangea. And since then, that brand has introduced about 6 varieties. We have another new one coming next year. But then it kind of morphed into other species like panicle and smooth hydrangeas, and more breeding was happening. We had some of our own breeding, and it's just really grown across the board, where hydrangeas are the biggest product line that we have at the nursery.
How have hydrangeas changed over the years?
Well, they've become better garden plants in a number of different ways. First of all, size-wise. Back in the day when I got into retail, we grew PG hydrangea. And I remember at that garden center, they were 25 feet tall in the landscape. Now we've been able to bring them down, and many are 7, 8 feet tall. But modern breeding has brought them down 4, 5 foot tall, and I think in a few years, you're gonna see some even shorter. On the panicles, we are getting color. So they start white, then we start to get some pink tones, and you see that right behind me, and even red tones. So there's just a lot of exciting elements to hydrangea breeding.
When was this display area established?
This garden, which is located in Cottage Grove, Minnesota, is at our propagation range, and we call it the Nord Farm. We propagate tens of millions of young plants here every year. And we thought we would like to have a display garden that has ultimately grown into a place to really feature the plants in the Bailey brands. And we keep adding new things to it all the time as we introduce new plants in our program.
How many varieties of hydrangeas does Bailey's grow?
Let's talk about the species for a minute. Hydrangea arborescens, smooth hydrangea, we grow 3 varieties. Panicle hydrangeas, which you see behind me, we grow approximately 12 to 15 varieties. And hydrangea macrophylla, mophead hydrangea, endless summer hydrangea, we grow about 7 varieties. Most of them are in the Endless Summer brand, but there are a few old varieties, oldies but goodies, that still sell.
You mentioned Endless Summer, but what are the varieties that Bailey's has developed?
Well, we have developed almost all the Endless Summer varieties or breeders that we work with. The initial varieties came from some outside breeders, although Endless Summer was discovered in a yard not far from this greenhouse range. Recent introductions, Summer Crush, Bloomstruck, Popstar, those were all bred at our breeding farm down in Athens, Georgia. So we have a facility there. We have 3 master breeders on staff, and their biggest crop is Endless Summer type hydrangeas.
What is the difference between a shrub and a tree hydrangea?
So we're talking about panicle hydrangeas. So behind me is a panicle. And a tree form hydrangea is a shrub pruned into a tree. It's not a different variety, it's not a different species, it's all how we treat it at the nursery. So we put it in the bare root field, we let it be a shrub for a year, and then the next spring we cut all the branches away but one, and we train that up into a trunk. And the following year we prune that trunk back, the branches start to grow on the top, and it becomes a tree. And as long as the homeowner does some nice pruning and shaping on it, you can always keep it a tree. And it has a very distinct trunk to it.
So it's not grafted?
No, we call that in the nursery industry own root. It's grown on its own root. So if you see vanilla strawberry, limelight, berry white, it's a long process, 3 years in an Oregon Barrett field before we can harvest it and get it off to our customers, which are B&B growers and garden centers who pot them up.
Are the hydrangeas that you can get in the spring of the year, you can get them like at the flower shops around Easter time, are they the same as the varieties that you have, and are those hardy?
They are the same species, but they are what we classify as florist types. And it's a whole different breeding line. The Dutch do a wonderful job at that, but they develop plants that are perfect for pot culture, for the greenhouse, for holidays, most specifically Easter. You can buy one of those and put it in the ground. I would say 9 times out of 10 it will die the first winter because it doesn't have any hardy blood in it at all. Endless Summer and those varieties that we have developed came from some plants that had hardier rootstock that will grow in a Zone 4 Minnesota winter. Not so much Zone 3, a little too cold in Zone 3.